Snipers for Xbox 360 is a forgotten online-only 2010s first-person shooter developed by Hydravision and published by Big Ben Interactive, and this is my review of the game many years later. I actually don't know when this title came out, as I could find very little info on it online, but Game FAQ said it was released in 2012 in Australia, 2013 in Europe, and 2015 in America, and if you can't guess, the game is pretty much abandoned on Xbox 360, although the servers are still up. They're just completely bare, and this is after I checked many times in late 2025. Now I know this is coming out in 2026, but I highly doubt this game somehow had a revival between the time of my writing this video and the time of its publication. But anyways, I can't really say a lot about the main PvP modes. It seemed like it could have been fun, and it had your standard game modes like Team Deathmatch, Free-for-all, and Capture the Flag, but it also has some more unique sounding modes called Last Man Standing and Contract. I can only talk about the description of these game modes, but Last Man Standing was a free-for-all mode where you only had one life, and the last person alive won, while Contract had you hunting a single person in a game, while there was also only one person in the lobby hunting you, if that makes sense. Now, you could make custom games and adjust things like the time limit, or enabling and disabling friendly fire, and there's a ranked MP mode and just traditional MP, and there seems to be a healthy map selection. There are also MP challenges, which seem cool, and of course, you could make custom loadouts, and you could buy items with money, but I have no idea how the money system actually worked, and I somehow earned $50. At this point in the video, you might be asking what I did in this game besides browsing the game modes and staring at empty lobbies, and the answer would be that I played the tutorial and the time trial modes. The tutorial is a pretty basic tutorial, teaching you everything you need to know in the game, like how to use grenades or how to move, stuff like that, and the time trial is the tutorial without any hand-holding, and you try to finish it as quickly as possible while shooting dummy targets to increase your score, with headshots offering more points than body shots. You could also melee a couple dummies, so that's something, I guess. Now in these modes, you're given a single sniper rifle and an automatic pistol with infinite ammo to use, in addition to having infinite grenades, a radar drone, which highlights dummies on your radar, and a grappling hook, used for mobility. In addition to this, you can earn 2 achievements in the tutorial mode, one for finishing the tutorial, and the other for using a drone for the first time, and both achievements are worth 15 gamer score points. I can't tell you how many times I did the time trial and tutorial modes, and I also spent a good chunk of time just exploring the tutorial level and imagining what this game was like back in its day, although I doubt it was ever super popular. But looking at leaderboards, this game at one point did have life in it to some degree, and I do see the mindset behind trying to sell this game. Around this time period, quickscoping and trick shots with snipers were pretty big on Call of Duty, and maybe somebody thought, well, what if we made a game that was nothing but sniping, and then made this game? Just a guess, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the story behind this title. But I can also imagine some poor kid without internet asking his parents for a COD or a Battlefield game because he liked the campaigns, and then getting this game and not being able to use it really. Anyways, back to reviewing the game itself. The graphics, they seem nice, and the same goes for the OST and the sound effects, and the announcer for the tutorial did a good job as a VA. The controls are pretty smooth and pretty similar to Call of Duty on Xbox, and from what I could access, this title ran well performance-wise. And there's not really any more I can say about this game in 2025/2026. It seems like a solid budget title by design, but it's just not really playable. I'm not quite sure how to grade this game, but I think to give it a 7.5 out of 10 by design, along with a warning not to buy this game unless you're really big into tutorials and time trials. I personally got this game digitally for $2 before the 360 store closed, but it also got a physical release in the PAL region, and from what I saw online, used copies are surprisingly expensive, and the PlayStation 3 version even got a collector's edition, but I couldn't find anything about this game seeing a physical release in America. I saw some people on eBay asking upwards of $100 for copies of this game, and price charting says that some people are willing to pay big money for this title. Although I assume that's mostly just collectors, and I'm glad that I didn't pay more than I did for this experience. Anywho, as far as a similar game that I can recommend, I am going to say maybe Gotham City Imposters if you can find a legitimate way to play it. And I reckon that wraps up my review for today. As far as our Bible verse of the day, I read Romans 12:12 NIV. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Okay, well, thanks for watching. A shorter vid than usual, but I don't have a lot to say about this title. For anyone new here, I mostly play, review, and discuss Xbox 360 games, so feel free to check out some of my other vids if that sounds like your thing. As always, none of my content is ever made by AI, and I don't consent to my voice and likeness being modified, altered, and copied by AI in any way. Jesus loves you all. Have a good one. Peace. Anywho, as far as a similar game that I can recommend, I'm gonna say maybe Gotham City